Yes, this is week 7.
Oh my gosh.
We have this week and next week. We have 4 more classes, which I can't believe how fast it's gone by. Um, so we're
Yes.
gonna do a little bit of a check-in
Okay.
on the workbook and on the exercises, and then we will get into module 6. There's only 2 more modules. So first, let's go to, well, if you have your book right there, then I
Yeah.
will have you turn to page 7. And I will share my screen. Oh, Bonnie, you made it. Well,
Page 7. Oh, okay. So we're going backwards.
yes. So I'm gonna share this screen here.
Yes.
Bonnie, how are you doing?
I'm good. I'm a little late, but I'm here.
I'm so
Yay.
surprised. I'm so sorry about your loss.
Thank you. It was our ex-neighbor and friend and doctor, but he was
Oh,
sick the last 6 years. He had retired, so I just needed to go to his funeral.
oh.
Where
Well,
are you?
I'm glad you're here. We're just getting started. If you want to turn to page 7 in your workbook, we have 2 more weeks left. So we have 4 classes. So we're going to do a bit of a check-in with the workbook and then with the exercises, and then we'll do module 6. So
Okay.
just to recap kind of where my head was at when I was creating this course is that there would be 3 phases, so to speak. So we would learn a bunch of stuff, we would plan our next steps for our short and long-term goals, and then we would take action. So for the planning, all along I've kind of been planting the seed of like slowly start forming a short and long-term plan to achieve your goals, whether they be strength related, balance, fall prevention. Um, and then step 3 is to take action. So the one thing that I really want everyone to walk away with is one action step. That's all I ask. If you do that, you have achieved my goal for you, which is it's not, what good does it do to learn about this if we're not gonna implement anything? So maybe you're already taking that action. Like, Bonnie, I'm going to use you an example because I know you're already walking and doing Tai Chi before you even started this class. So maybe your action is just to, you decided, you know what, I'm good with what I'm doing. I'm just going to continue what I'm doing. So your action might just be to continue what you're already doing. Your action, if you're coming here and have 0 exercise plan in place, which I know both of you already have exercise plans going, or you want to add something like Bonnie, I know you wanted to add strength. Aunt La, I know you wanted to add walking. So then maybe your action step is related to that. I recommend picking no more than 3 action steps. And that could be related to any of the fall prevention risk factors that we have talked about, okay, and are going to keep talking about. So does that make sense? 1 to 3 goals max, because if you do more than that, it's going to be too much. And it also does depend, are all 3 goals short term, or are they sprinkled out over like short, medium, and long term? That might make it easier to like make multiple goals. But I wouldn't make any more than 3 short-term goals. Any questions on that? So I'm just going to give you guys, let's start with, I think we'll go to 10 minutes. I'll check in after 5 minutes. I would love for you guys to look at pages 8 through 13 and just fill those out, revisit them from what you wrote in the first time, do your goals still match? Is your why still the same why, or has it changed a little bit? Can you elaborate a little bit? Is there anyone that you want to add to your fall prevention team or your health team? Like, for example, Law, I don't know if you kind of already had in your mind to start physical therapy at the start of this course, but like your new PT might be a new member of your fall prevention team, for example. And so go ahead and fill in those pages and I'll check back in after 5 minutes.
Okay. What,
Okay.
page 8 through,
8 through 13.
okay, thanks. Hmm. Hmm.
All right, that's been 5 minutes.
Okay,
Any questions? Going good?
Good. About done.
What's that, Bon?
I'm about done.
You're about done. Just, you guys might have already figured this out, might have already been doing this. If you go to pages 2 and 3 and scan down the course content, the essentially table of contents, you might, that will review all of the big fall risk factors. So you can scan down that list to use to help you. The other pages that you might want to scan down are pages 16 I think there's one more, but I'm still looking for it.
I'm sorry, so what were the first two before 16?
Okay, pages 2 and 3,
Okay,
16, and 22.
thank you.
So you might tell me 22 might have all, the table of contents might cover 22, but you tell me. Those are just, when you're thinking about, are there any doctors or healthcare providers that I need to go see? Is there any, do I need to go to a shoe store? Do I need to figure out how to get more water on board? Like, that can just jog your brain to see, is there anything I've been really wanting to change for a while? Some of these you might have been knowing for a while that you want to change, and this can be your, like, use this as your motivation. So I'll give you guys 5 more minutes. Another page you may look at if you are creating exercise goals would be 37 and 42. That module 3, but 37, 42, 44, those could be some good ones. Alrighty. How's it coming?
Good.
Okay,
Okay. What do you guys have as your action steps or probable or possible action steps?
well, in addition to my, Tai Chi and walking, I want to do more of the Ortega exercises because I think they're good for me strength wise and balance.
Okay, awesome.
And
Are
I
there-
also have a book from Harvard Medical Health that I ordered. It's core exercises to help strengthen your core. And they're easy, you know what I mean? It's not, they're for old people.
Cool. Okay, perfect. Did you have any other goals related to any of the other risk factors aside from exercise?
Well, the Ortega has 3 or 4 things that are good for balance, and that's my main concern now is
Okay.
balance.
Sorry, what's that? Your main concern is balance?
Yeah,
Okay. But there's nothing related to footwear or nutrition or stress or any of that that you need to work on.
I'm trying to work on nutrition, but I always get good footwear. And but I wouldn't mind losing 10 pounds.
Okay.
But that's been my goal for a long time.
Okay.
That's everybody's goal. Wait a
Yeah.
minute.
All right. Aunt Law, what are your action steps?
Well, the one is the same one that's been on here since since the very first day, I think. And I have all these excuses like the hurricanes. I mean, it's real, but the fact is I have not gotten off my fanny and gone and joined Planet Fitness. I keep saying I'm going to do it. It's not that far away. So I'm leaving that as my number one action step.
Okay.
And because at Planet Fitness, then I want to develop, kind of a plan besides what I'm doing here at the house, more with equipment, like maybe the bike and the, oh gosh, what do you call it? The walk, when you walk on it,
Treadmill.
the treadmill. Yes, thank you.
Have you ever done the elliptical? Are you a fan of that?
The problem with the elliptical is my leg, because my left leg, because of the inch difference. I've got that
Yeah.
the shoe thing. It's tricky.
Okay.
It's
So
tricky.
2 questions then. Do you
Yeah.
have any other risk factors, things that you want to work on? Is it mostly just exercise based?
Well, my number one, the top of the list, is to get my knee replacement in early 2025. So everything, unfortunately, I'm very limited in my focus right now because that's my primary goal. I know beyond that, I have other goals about living alone and whatnot. But action step wise, the Planet Fitness or a gym, joining a gym. And then I heard again about chair yoga that they have at one of the other units, and I want to see if I want to check that out.
Cool. Okay. Let me know how it is when you go. I just one of my patients just moved to a new assisted living that has a lot more activities, and he's gonna check out chair yoga sometime this week. So I'm
Oh, cool.
interested to
Okay.
see how you guys like it. Okay. Can I put you in the hot seat for a second and ask you some questions about Planet Fitness?
Certainly.
Okay. Aside from hurricanes,
Yeah.
what are the other barriers to you going, do you think?
Just getting the excuses out of the way. I don't know. I really don't have any. Let's see what terrible. I can't think of, other than just getting up and getting in the car and going. That's all,
Are
uh,
you nervous at all, or like just,
well, I probably wouldn't go on a weekend because that's probably when they're the busiest. And I mean, I'd rather go during the middle of the day. I don't work, so it can, there'd be less people there. No, I'm not nervous. I don't know why I haven't done it. I have absolutely no.
well, that's why I said, can I put you in the hot seat, is because,
I'm very comfortable being in the hot seat because it's really making me think, why haven't I done it?
yeah.
So,
Are you thinking, I'm just spitballing here and you can
yes.
say yes or no. Is it possible that you're thinking, okay, once I start Planet Fitness, it's gonna be this whole program and it's gonna be for like I'm gonna do it perfectly. Like, are you maybe thinking consciously or subconsciously that like it's gonna be this whole big thing? Maybe just
No,
making it too big of a goal?
no, I think what it is that in my lifetime, I have joined gyms and um start off great, gung ho, and then it ends up being a waste of money. The difference now is that there is no money involved. Well, it's free, so that is not a barrier any longer. But it's that I don't know why I used to join gym. A lot of people do it, but I
I
always
u-
enjoyed it. I always enjoyed it. I don't know why I didn't stick with it. So
I used to do that too, Law. I had a couple of gym memberships and I just, it was getting up, driving there and coming home and all. So I tried to find things like the reason I got into walking. Now my Tai Chi's only twice a week and it's closed, but I needed things that I could do at home. And that's why I really like this Ortega and my walking, even my Tai Chi, I can do at home. You know, you can go online and Tai has classes online that are recorded, so you can do it whenever you feel like it, you know. But I'm like you, I would not do another gym membership because it's a waste of time and a waste of money. I just won't drive there to do that.
So Bonnie, what gets you driving to, because you typically drive to Tai Chi twice a week?
I do.
What gets you there?
Well, it's 15 minutes, 20 tops if the traffic's bad. Um, I've got I've got a couple of my neighbors going, so there's knowing that
Oh,
they're there. Also on Tuesday Tai Chi, he does an hour meditation class, and that's really been good for me, and I really enjoy that. So, but it's not like getting up and getting on. Okay, I'm going to go to the gym for an hour, and I'm going to run from machine to machine to machine, or have somebody tell me where to go and what to do. With him, I don't have to do that. He's leading
yeah.
the class, and you can do however strong or not strong that you feel like. You know, it's not like, oh, I goofed, I didn't get to the gym. You know, and that's the way I used to feel. That's the reason. And I don't mind walking by myself. I keep my phone on me, of course, and um, I just have my mile-and-a-half route that I can walk. And now that it's cool in the morning, you know, I got up early this morning knowing I was going to be gone most of the day. I got it in, and I always feel better after I do. It also helps. I have some aches and pains now. I hate to say that, but I'm getting old. Oh my goodness, particularly with my hamstrings. So I've been doing some of those plank things you showed us, you know, in the morning, and that helps me stretch those out before I go.
Oh, good.
So I still don't feel, I can't walk on my heels, I can tell you that, and I can't stand on one leg very long, but I'm working on
Cool. Cool. Okay, I'm gonna touch on page 43 and 44. Um, so, because this ties into this conversation. I have had to do my own search on what makes me consistent with exercise and not. A lot of it is trial and error. But this, I think, has helped some of my patients, not all, but some of them have a breakthrough, which is on page 43. Effective exercise is meaningful, challenging, sustainable, and fun or fun enough. So, meaningful, the more it pulls on your heartstrings, like, I don't want to be dependent and have to move out of my house into an assisted living facility. If that is really your core motivator, then that's going to get you out of bed a lot more than I want to lose 10 pounds. Like, I'm 37. I've been wanting to lose 10 pounds for 2 decades. Like, you guys have, are in your 70s, 80s and wanting to. Bonnie, you're 83, right?
Yeah,
And Law,
72.
72.
On
So,
my page 10, where it says why balance and fall prevention are so important to me, because my number one thing is independence.
yes.
yes, yes.
So, this was a big game changer for me. I used to exercise for weight loss, and it just, you get desensitized to that. We all want to lose 10 pounds, like you said. Like, you kind of said it half joking, but it's true. Like, how many decades have we been saying that? So,
That's not my motivation on exercise or anything. The only motivation I get now is, I have a daughter that's very health conscious because she weighed 290 pounds and now she weighs 150. And she's stuck with it for years. And she'll come in and think, Mom, you've got so much trash in your pantry, you know. So I'm trying to do better about not having certain things that I know don't help you lose weight. But like this list you've given, meaningful to me, walking, because I like to be out early in the morning. I like to hear the birds. I have a couple hawks that I see every now and then.
yes.
I like being outside, and so that's meaningful to me. It's not challenging anymore because I've been doing it for so many years. So it's very sustainable, and I can have fun by myself. If I see my birds, I see Henry my hawk, and sitting up there on a light post staring at me, and I think, don't you dare attack me. And I also see bears early in the morning on garbage days. We have a lot of bears around our neighborhood,
Cool.
but I don't bother them, and they don't bother me. So,
Yeah.
but I like seeing the wildlife. So those are what keep me going on the walking part.
Well, you just are living example of why this works, because you have a bigger reason beyond something superficial. So if you are still curious about, why can't I get to Planet Fitness when I want to? I would look at, like, what pressures are you putting on yourself? Do you feel like if you go, it has to be forever? Like, maybe why not just say, I'm gonna go until my knee replacement.
And
And
that's pretty much what I've decided. Yes,
yeah,
that's a
like,
good point. Yeah,
just full permission to not even go after. Just
yeah.
the other thing, going to page 44. So we talked about knowing your goals. Under that, like, is it for stress relief? For me, I have also started. Number one is I want to be able to walk and talk coherently when I'm 100. Number two is it serves as really my antidepressant. Like, I have started viewing it as my exercise really impacts my mental health. So those are really my two motivators. Others could be socialization. So Bonnie, if you see your neighbors there at Tai Chi, that could be, continuing you. Like, sometimes we just have to know ourselves and, I know I need accountability with such and such. So let me just find a friend to do my exercise with. That could be a solution. Trying something new. Like, this doesn't have to be forever. Maybe you do Planet Fitness till your knee replacement and then Otago after, or who knows? Maybe you end up loving Planet Fitness once you're in the routine, or maybe you want to try Tai Chi, like full permission to like flex, and it doesn't matter so much what exercise you're doing as long as you're moving your body. I actually, in my own life too, have started um, saying movement instead of exercise,
Mm.
which to me, I don't know why that was such a big shift in my brain, but it was like, I want to move my body instead of this. Exercise to me just can't carries a connotation sometimes of like, I have to do this, or like a checklist, like, okay, did I exercise today? Okay. It just is a little more soft to say movement, and it reminds me more of like, I want to be able to move well when I'm, in my 80s and 90s.
Well, I think one of the things, you've met Ty, my instructor,
Mhm.
and that's all he talks about is just move everything every day, even if, standing at the grocery store, he said, I do some, and I don't care what I look like, it's move. And he never says this is exercise. He's like you. And that is a better way because this joint is not wanting to move today, so you got to do something to get it moving.
Yeah,
I like that.
I love that. Thanks for sharing that. Hey, Carol,
Hey, I made it.
you made it. Yay. We're on
I'm
page
still
44 if you want to join in the workbook, but if you're
34,
Step away for a minute, Amber.
okay, 44.
44.
Hi, Shirley.
So number 3 is going to be starting small. So this is another funny one. Start with an incredibly small habit. This is from James Clear. I don't know if any of you are familiar with James Clear and his book about habits, which
Mm.
he has an idea, which is, or he gives several case examples where like somebody, actually somebody wanted to start going to the gym and they just couldn't get themselves to go to the gym. And he said, start so small you can't fail. Like, start ridiculously small that if you told someone your goal, they would laugh at you. So the guy's goal was to go to the gym and to, I think it was like to walk in and do one push-up and then leave. So most of his time was driving. He drove to the gym, he walked in and did a push-up, and then he left. And drove home. And that was literally enough. Like, that was a success for the day, a win. And slowly but surely, he just like very slowly built upon this until, maybe he was working out 20 minutes or 30 minutes. And he gives a lot of other examples. Like, I think there was a runner or a walker, and they started out by just putting on their shoes every day. And then they wouldn't even leave the house, but they would get in the outfit that they were going to wear. So they started ridiculously small, so much so that if you told your friend that that's what you were doing and that you had a big success today, they would be like, "What?" But it just gets you in that, it just is an easier entry to start so small that you cannot fail. Another example of starting so small you cannot fail is, instead of thinking, I'm going to go to Planet Fitness 6 days a week because I'm retired and I have no excuses. Like, no, start going once a week, maybe twice a week at the most. Another example I've seen with my patients, this one guy he loved when I took him to the gym, and he was going to go all the time. And every time he would go, he would overdo it. Then his body was hurting for 3 days, and he just got this negative association with the gym. So I was like, dude, just go for 20 minutes. And he just could not get himself to only go for 20 minutes. So those are a lot of examples of how you can make it small and take off all the pressure. Other things you can do, what was successful in the past? What were you successful with in the past? When were you unsuccessful in the past? You guys already shared some of that, so maybe just ponder that. What are any current barriers? Ask for help. Do we want to sign up for a personal trainer? Do you want to ask a friend to go with you? Do you want to post a thing in your neighborhood on Facebook? Like, I am sure that there are other people living close to you that have the same goals. So if you think that the accountability would help, trial and error, this really is all about trial and error. Again, take the pressure right off yourself to just say, I'm going to experiment with Planet Fitness. I might only like it for a month, and then if I don't like it in a month, but I'm still wanting to get stronger before my knee replacement, I can call Amber, she'll help me out. Like, and so just think of it as experimenting instead of like a long-term commitment that if I don't do,
Right.
I'll fail. You cannot fail, you can only learn. There is no right answer. The best exercise is the one that you will actually do. So keep that in mind when thinking of this. And then just the other thing I like to think of with experimenting along with that is like you're just getting data, you're gathering data. Bonnie tried Tai Chi, turns out she really liked it and she stuck with it. So, you know, you never would have known that if you didn't try it out. So you're going to try chair yoga, Aunt Law, you might end up really liking that. Do you like seeing pictures? Like, so do you, if you can follow the Otego printout, great. If you like YouTube videos, great. Maybe you like a video format, the Tai Chi format, Tai Chi videos. Maybe you need in person.
Yeah.
Do you like a variety or do you like the same thing? Do you
I'm better in person, I think. I mean, I do water aerobics. If I could go every day, I would, but it probably averages 3 times a week. They don't have it on the weekends. So 3 out of the 5 days they offer it, at least I'm doing water aerobics and I enjoy it and I like the people and it's fun. And I don't think it's challenging. It is pretty easy now that I've been doing it for too long. So, but I don't want to stop either.
Yeah. So you guys are bringing up a good point. A lot of my exercises are pretty easy now too. The challenging piece is just to point out that like it has to be challenging enough to provoke a change, especially if you're trying to decrease your fall risk. Then it does need to be challenging in that sense, or else you're not really going to improve your balance. So maybe the water aerobics is easy for you. Maybe, Bonnie, the walking is easy for you. But when you are doing some of the Otego exercises, they're a little bit they're challenging enough to stimulate a change, an improvement in your balance. So that's the only point there is that there's a difference between growing strength and maintaining strength. So I would say right now for me with my strengthening program, I'm very much in a maintenance phase. I have been for a long time where I kind of just do the same thing every week and I know what to expect. I don't really go up and down in how much weight I'm actually lifting. So that's normal. So if you've been doing water aerobics consistently for a long time, it makes sense that it wouldn't be that challenging, but don't stop it. That's good that it's
Well,
not.
and I noticed several of the women now have these water weights and they're using those while they're exercising and they're getting a lot more upper, especially for the upper body. So I might look into a pair of those too.
Cool. Cool. Let's see. Oh, do you like going to classes or do you like doing your own thing? Do you like not having to think and just being told what to do? Do you need music to make it more fun? Are you too busy and need to actually make time for it in your calendar? Do you prefer working out at home or the gym? Do you get bored quickly? Lastly, keeping in mind that your exercise or your movement plan will ebb and flow. There will be hurricanes. There will be trips out of town. There will be getting sick, and it will ebb and flow. You can also like get bored with one thing, and there's been years I did yoga and years I didn't do yoga. So it can flux like that, and giving yourself permission to like not feel bad about that or not feel like you failed in any way. And then just starting with your number one goal right now, keep it short and small, and then this is an interesting idea. Think in months or quarters. So, for example, commit for 3 months and then say November, December, January. At the end of January, I'll reevaluate and see if I like my plan. So there's some food for thought. And as we wrap up, just want to make sure we touch on this again while we still have a few more classes together, so that you guys feel set up for success to continue achieving your goals with exercise or movement. Okay, any questions there? Cool. All right. Let's go to page 68. We're going to continue with a few more risk factors. So again, I'm just going to keep hammering this home. When we're thinking about preventing falls, we're looking at our strength and our exercise. We're looking at home safety, medications, and vision as the first four. Exercise, home safety, medications, and vision. And then after that, there's a whole slew of things that could be impacting your fall risk. So we'll start with feet and footwear. I want to say that this is very individual. Closed-toed shoes are always going to be the most supportive because they have a wider base. They just do. Better than slippers, better than sandals. But that's not to say that you can't ever wear sandals. Okay, so I also know some people do really well with a thick cushion. I know some people have told me, maybe even you, Aunt La, that the Hoka shoes, for example, really helped your balance. Is that right? Am I remembering that right?
They according to the physical therapist 5 years ago, he said they're the shoe that's the lightest in weight that provides you the most support and comfort.
Oh, love that.
Lightweight.
Love that. So I've had people with the Hokas that have the very thick cushion say that it improves their balance, and I've had people wear Hokas and say it decreases their balance. So that's why I say it's individual. So, excuse me, things that could be impacting your balance are the shape of your foot. If you have arches, if your arches have fallen, bunions, if you had any surgeries or toe amputation, any numbness or tingling, neuropathy, pain, stiffness, that would absolutely affect your balance. Proprioception, anybody remember what this is? We talked about this at the very beginning. This would be like, you get a gold star if you can even remember what the heck proprioception is.
I'm going to blame it on the hurricane. I don't remember.
So it is basically, there are little joint position sensors in every single joint in your body, including every little knuckle in your finger, your wrist, your elbow, your shoulder, and they sense the position of your joint. So they can tell, oh, I'm lifting my arm now. Oh, I'm moving my arm forward. Oh, I just opened my arm back here. Oh, I bent left. There's proprioceptors in every vertebrae, every ankle, knee, hip, toe. So it's just giving feedback to your brain where your body is in space. So if you have decreased proprioception in your feet and ankles especially, that's going to alter your balance. Are you using the full base of support, your full foot, or are you mostly on your heels, mostly on your toes? Are you on the outsides of your feet? Are you weight shifting effectively? Compression stockings, if you wear those regularly, can be slippery in your shoes. One woman from my last round of this class brought that to my attention because she wore compression hose every day. So footwear, making sure that you have the right shoe, the right size, good traction on the bottom, heel height. I am a fan of barefoot time for the purpose of balance training. I think it's really good to get direct input from the floor into your foot. Not everyone can do this a lot of people have pain barefoot, especially if you have hard floors. And then with people with sensory loss or diabetes, it's not recommended because you might not see if you step on something sharp, but depending on how you do it, if it's like very controlled, very safe, you're very aware of what you're doing, walking in your living room, for example, for even 10, 30 minutes a day, just to get that direct input from the floor into your foot. You can also walk in grass. Again, I only recommend that for people with good sensation that you can feel if you are stepping on a rock or something. Walking in sand. So those can just help with your foot sensation, the proprioception of your foot knowing where it is in space. So that's more of like a training idea. I do have a lot of people that refuse to wear shoes and only want to be barefoot or only want to wear socks, only want to wear sandals. So there are certain case examples, but when we're talking about fall prevention, doing everything we can to decrease our fall risk, a lightweight shoe with a good base is going to be a really good option. So you can read through. These are some people that you can consider adding to your team.
I didn't realize I was muted before. Could you repeat the name of, was it a Hoka shoe?
Yes, HOKA.
Okay. And what was the name of the shoe that you recommended, Amber? Did you recommend a shoe?
I didn't recommend a shoe. I do sometimes, for people that want slip-ons, I will recommend either Skechers or Kizik, Kizik. The Kiziks are not the lightest weight shoe you ever found. But they don't look like a tennis shoe, so they're a little bit more of like a stylized shoe. I did also just come across a Skechers slip-on that is more tan. One of my male patients was wearing it. It almost looks more like a boat shoe, so it doesn't look quite so sneakery. So some people that's important, some people don't care. So those are two brands I consistently recommend.
I usually wear shoes from like Dr. Comfort, which they sell a lot of diabetic shoes
Okay.
because they have a larger toe base, toe
Mhm.
box, and a deeper inset because I wear thick orthotics.
Cool.
So it accommodates the orthotics and it gives me extra room in the toes because my toes are always numb from the neuropathy. So it gives me extra space in the toes.
Perfect. Yes, a wide toe box is really good.
Mhm.
I love a lot of different running shoe brands. So Asics, Brooks, those are excellent. A lot of people have been wearing a certain brand their whole life, so they do come in different widths. So, like I said, there can be a lot of variability with that. Bonnie, are you trying to ask something? I'm sorry, I muted you two ladies when you had the visitors over, so I'm gonna ask you to unmute, Bonnie. I can't hear you. There you
I
go.
that you had on people to have on your team, and I hadn't even thought about it, but I always go to Track Shack, or there's another shoe store that's close to me. But they take a lot of time measuring, and they bring out these different shoes that you've been mentioning. So, and then they want you to walk around their store with each one, or with the one you pick, to make sure you're happy with it. And I like, the first time I went to Track Shack, they put me in a larger size, and I said, this is not gonna work until I put it on. They know what they're doing.
What was the name of that shoe store, Bonnie?
Well, she's got it on page 68. She's got Track Shack, Fit to Run.
Oh, I missed that. Okay. Oh, I
Yeah.
see at the very bottom. Yes, okay.
Yeah, yeah. It's good to have somebody that they measure your feet, you know.
Sure.
No,
Yes.
Track Shack is local to Orlando. I don't think they have any other locations, but Fit to Run, I believe Fleet Feet is also a nationwide company. And I know there was a local running store in Tampa, so let me look and see if there's a good one in St. Pete.
I've been to Fit to Run, when after I broke my femur bone, they were the first ones to measure me for the Hokas, and they did a great job.
Cool.
The thing about the Hokas is there's so many different I'm gonna call them the model type. I
Mm.
use the Clifton. The Bondies are the ones that have a lot of cushioning. And I tried them on. I felt like that. I didn't feel secure in them like I do just with the Clifton. So people do really need to try them on whatever shoe they get.
Yeah,
Clipton.
I prefer the Clifton. They have probably 6 or 8 different types of Hoka shoes, for running and climbing and this and that. But for me, the Clifton is the model that I prefer.
The Clifton with an F or with a P?
With the F's, yeah, Clifton.
Okay.
And my sister loves the Bondies because they're very soft, a lot of cushion. She loves them, but they didn't work for me.
All right, let's go on to page 69. We will talk about vitamin D deficiency. So this can lead to muscle weakness, which would impact your fall risk. If you're weaker, you'd be at higher risk of falling. It can also contribute to osteopenia and osteoporosis, and then increase fall risk. Things that you can do to increase your vitamin D are spending time in the direct sunlight, foods with vitamin D, and then vitamin D supplements. There is research that's inconsistent, so definitely talk to your doctor about your blood work. I wouldn't recommend just taking vitamin D supplements willy-nilly, but again, as we spoke about in the nutrition section, maybe it was the medication section. I don't think we've done nutrition yet, but if you are eating a lot of processed foods and then taking some supplements on top of it, it's not really going to be effective. Supplements need a fertile soil to work with. So they want, whole foods like we talked about, those fruits, veggies, proteins, beans, nuts, seeds, healthy fats, a lot of water. If you're putting supplements on top of a very nutritious diet, then they're going to be more likely to do something. Most supplements are also not regulated by any body, any organization. So just be careful of a lot of them. I have a lot of confusion around supplements. A lot of them cost a lot of money. And then you hear about the bioavailability, which means how available is that vitamin D once you put it into your body? Is it in a form that your body can digest and use, or is it just being excreted out in your urine or your feces? Like, is it even being used by your body? So this is the kind of stuff where research is very gray and very confusing, and I have gotten way down rabbit trails with supplements and like way into it, and then I get burnt out because it's so confusing. And so just a caution about supplements. I don't think they're bad at all. Just be careful that you're getting a good quality one and that it's based on lab work and that it's on top of a good nutritious foundation. Yes, question?
So what if you do a combination? Like I do spend time in the sun because I walk my dog early in the morning and I go to water aerobics. And I do take supplements and I'm pretty good with the foods with the vitamin D, I'm pretty sure. So is that is that better?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
okay.
think that's great. It's like diversifying your portfolio.
Yes.
So yeah, I think that's a great idea.
I have an absorption problem, and I am prescribed 50,000 units of vitamin D twice a week, along with calcitriol, which helps you absorb vitamin D.
Nice.
And my vitamin D is still barely acceptable.
Wow.
I just had my blood work done and it's still at a barely acceptable level.
Wow.
And same thing with my B12. I take B12 every day. I take a shot of B12 that I give myself every month, and my B12 is just barely acceptable. So I have, for some reason, an absorption problem.
Okay. That's good that you are, it sounds like you're in good hands basing it off of lab work, so that's really good.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
next,
keep on top of it.
yeah, for sure. Um, with chronic medical conditions as it pertains to fall prevention and fall risk, there's going to be a lot of variability here, but we do want to keep in mind. So these are including but not limited to arthritis, cardiovascular disease, cardiac arrhythmia, diabetes, chronic kidney disease, stroke, Parkinson's, spinal cord injury, amputation. There's a whole bunch of other ones, but these are the ones that are most common. So the intervention here, as it relates to decreasing your fall risk, is making sure that you're optimizing the treatment of whatever conditions you have. So for people with neurological conditions, stroke, Parkinson's, spinal cord, they might have something called spasticity. And it might be really important for them to have a spasticity medication. So that would be one thing. For most of these, exercise is going to be recommended. Making sure that you're following with a specialist. So if you need a neurologist, if you need a kidney doctor, if you need a endocrinologist for diabetes, like making sure that you have a good one and that you trust them. I had somebody with diabetes, newly diagnosed, that was just getting advice from their primary care. And it was like, okay, we need to get an endocrinologist and a good one because and once they switched over to the endocrinologist, their stress level went down so fast because you can imagine getting newly diagnosed with diabetes is extremely stressful and just a lot of high emotions going into that. So you really want to make sure that you trust the doctor. I believe this too about your primary care doctor. I can't tell you how many patients I have that don't really like their primary care doctor. So it's like maybe you only see them once a year, but you want to make sure that they care about you, that they're listening to you. And so many people are unhappy with their primary cares and just stay with them. So I highly recommend getting doctors that you trust and like and want to listen to and that listen to you. Yeah, question?
But, there's a shortage of primary care doctors, at least in my area there are.
Okay.
And one of the biggest factors I found is depending on what type of insurance you have. If you have an HMO, you're going to get treated a certain way. It's a fact. And if you have a PPO, then you're going to be treated a different way. And that's what I keep running into.
Yeah,
Ins-
that's a really good point.
that with HMOs, often everything has to be the primary care doctor. Occasionally they'll say, yeah, you need to go have this checked by a specialist, but it's rare.
Hmm. Hmm.
Well, I have an HMO and I don't have too much trouble getting to see a specialist.
Good.
Yeah, a lot of it too is like being in a program like this. I've told you I have grown into a huge I'm very passionate about teaching my patients, my clients to advocate for themselves and teaching them questions that they just didn't think to ask before.
Mhm.
Because I used to go to the doctor and just do what they said. I would blindly take whatever medication they would give me. I wouldn't think to challenge them because it's getting better, but I have a thing where like anyone in position of authority, I just believe them. So, you can say, hey, I want an endocrinologist. And usually people are very reasonable. And if you have a pretty darn good reason to want to go see an endocrinologist, they will want to send you. Now, it doesn't always happen that way because the guy I just told you about that was getting his diabetes managed from his primary care didn't want to send him to an endocrinologist and thought that she was doing a fine enough job. And so that was, I don't think that was cool. And so he ended up changing, not on my recommendation, but he just didn't like that this doctor was either, getting her ego in the way or what, and not wanting to get him the support that he really needed. And he ended up having a much better result after finding an endocrinologist. So, okay, just a couple more here. Nutrition. So, as we talked about before, the best food plan, regardless of what belief, whatever I want to call it, like ideology or whatever, theory on nutrition that you follow. There's so many diets out there, but the common denominator between all of them is whole foods, less processed. This is my favorite series of questions that I've found so far that can get to, are you having potential problems with your nutrition? Number one, are you happy with the amount of energy you have? Number two, are you happy with the quality of your sleep? Number three, do you have a daily bowel movement? Number four, can you think clearly most of the time? Number five, do you get sick often? So if any of these are, highlighted, then you want to potentially take a look at your nutrition and investigate further by either keeping a food journal. You can get a lot of data just from tracking. It's a little confusing because once you eat something, it can take 3 or 4 days to move through your body. It can take 3 or 4 days to show up a symptom. So it takes a little more time to do it that way. Another good way is to get a registered dietitian or nutritionist. And so they can help point you in the right direction. Hydration is also critical for good brain function, good nerve function, good muscle function, good mental health. I once heard a stand-up comedy skit about this guy that he was so angry, and it turns out he was really thirsty. But he was it was really funny. He was like yelling at his wife and he was just so grumpy. And then he drank a bottle of water and was like instantly feeling better. So that always makes me laugh. But with water, you want to aim for drinking a third to a half of your body weight in ounces of water, or in fluids that are not natural diuretics like coffee or caffeinated tea like green and black tea. They changed this a while ago from only water, it has to be water, to just if you're drinking water with some electrolytes in it, or if you're drinking coconut water, or if you're drinking, I mean, they even say Gatorade, or it can have sugar in it, from the standpoint of like, is it going to hydrate your body? If you just really can't stand the taste of water. But there's a lot of ways to flavor it up now. Sparkling water, like what I'm drinking today. If you are gonna,
Gatorade has so much sugar in it.
what does?
Gatorade.
I know. And I
You
even,
can, you can buy Gatorade Zero and it doesn't have any sugar. That's
yeah.
all, yeah.
Oh, that's good.
So then we go back to, just what are your goals, and are we nobody's gonna have a perfect diet. All of like Gatorade Zero will have artificial sweeteners, which there's a whole camp of people against artificial sweeteners I know people have been either allergic or had like a very strong reaction to artificial sweeteners. So not for everybody, but it does open up some more options than just straight water all the time. So here's some strategies to increase your water intake if it's difficult for you to drink a lot of water. Keeping a bottle with you. They actually make water bottles now that have the ounces printed on the side. So if you're a visual person, that could be helpful. Flavoring your water with fresh fruit like lemon, strawberries, cucumber, oranges, like that actually has a surprisingly flavorful effect. Drinking coconut water, eating foods that are high in water content. So soup, a lot of fruit, veggies, using electrolyte powders like Scratch Lab or Liquid IV. And then just if you are going to be losing water by sweating a lot, like if you're going to be outside, then you might want to drink more water that day. And then lastly, just a couple notes on holistic medicine and aging in place. So medicine is moving, even in the United States, we are moving from the traditional pathogenic model, which is focusing on fixing the symptoms after the fact, to a more holistic preventative model, which would be called a salutogenic model, which focuses both on reducing the symptoms that are present, but more importantly, creating and maintaining good health and healing long term. Holistic medicine is more about promoting proactive and preventative behaviors such as daily self-care and other positive activities that sustain us and protect us from the crises to begin with. So a lot of these risk factors can develop over decades very slowly. And then a holistic approach incorporates your physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual well-being. So not just the physical anymore. It's much more well-rounded as a whole person. At Advent Health, where I used to work, their model was whole person care. So I'm not just caring for your hip, I'm caring for you as a whole person. And then along these lines, I might have mentioned this to you. I may have mentioned this to you in the home safety chapter, but I started reading this book, Right Place, Right Time, and I only made it 50 pages in, but I really liked it, and I really liked the framework that he used. So when you're considering where do you want to be your forever home, if you want to age in place, you don't want to just think about the physical structure and that's it. You want to think about, are you living in a place where you can have a purpose? because a lot of people get depressed as they get older, they get more isolated and don't have a purpose anymore. So do you still have a purpose? And that can be, it doesn't have to be like going to work. It could be a lot of people are working later and later, or working for a lifetime, just maybe working part-time or volunteering. But your purpose could be connecting with your friends, connecting with your family. It could be volunteering. It could be, my purpose is to give my dog a good life. Like whatever is meaningful to you. My purpose is to like Bonnie, how you're talking about your connection with the birds and nature outside, like that might be giving you a sense of purpose. Social connection is a big consideration when you're aging in place. Are you in a community that is very isolated, or is there a lot more social connection? That guy that I said earlier just moved to a new assisted living from a different one is an automatic upgrade, like so much more social activities going on already. Your physical well-being, your financial well-being, and then the place and community. So this is, again, not just your physical structure, but the neighborhood, the city, the county, and the state that you're in might really have an impact on your well-being. So if you're interested in learning more about aging in place, I highly recommend reading that book.
The
So,
one, Right Place and Right Time, is that the book you're
Yep.
talking about? Yeah, okay.
yep. Very thought-provoking and yeah, cool book. All right, I almost got you guys out on time this time. We're 4 minutes over.
All right.
I will see you guys Thursday,
Mhm.
and just a quick show of hands, or respond verbally. How are we feeling about the exercise that we've gone over? Is there anything that you want more of or to see again before we end? Do we want to do another Otago session? Do we want to do more floor work? Do we want to do more other strengthening and balance exercises that aren't part of Otago?
How to fall, how to fall without breaking bones.
Okay. We did that one in depth the last time. Did you get a chance to watch that replay?
I was there last time.
You were there? Okay. You just want to see more of how to fall
Yes.
without breaking bones. Okay. Anybody else?
I think that's a good idea, and it might be a good idea if instead of you just doing it, if we're brave enough, maybe we do it. I don't know if that's logical though for us to do it if we're home alone. I bought a mat for next to my bed. It's probably, I don't even think it's 2 feet wide, but it's so that if I roll out of bed, hopefully I won't break a hip.
Yes, that
And
is
that's,
a
and
great idea.
it's perfect size, and I can put a rug on top of it. You don't even see it, and yet it's enough cushion that I'm going to practice the fall thing on that.
Okay. Then Thursday we'll practice some falling
Okay.
for those that want to.
Okay.
Hopefully I'll be in good enough shape by then.
And
Did
one
you-
thing maybe you could add, if we could talk about, because I don't really understand it and I want to avoid it, drop foot. It scares me when I hear about it because my Uncle Bob had it, and I have real problems with my feet and legs already. I sure don't want to add another,
Yeah.
a real challenge. So
My husband had that. My husband had that, but he had to wear a brace, and he got it on his right side after he had a stroke, so he got it.
I have it on my left foot, but I've so far avoided a brace.
I will definitely work that into one of our remaining classes.
thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay.
Cool beans,
I-
guys. Oh, what's
I
that,
know,
Karen?
I know I arrived late. Did you go over the orthostatic hypotension?
We did that in a different class. I think that was in the module before. That would be in module 5.
It was-
So if you
I-
watch that replay, it's in there.
Oh, I thought it was assigned for homework for today.
Oh, I see what you mean. If you wanted to check that, you could have, yes. Did you do it?
Yes.
Were you positive?
Well, I was wondering if it was normal for your blood pressure to go up when you stood up.
Oh. Yes.
It is?
It will either stay the same or how much did it go up? Let me ask that.
Well, mine was 112/52 lying down with a heart rate of 56. Standing, the 1 minute, it was 132/64, the heart rate of 55. And the 3 minutes, it was 134/71, heart rate of 55.
So it's 112 up to
Well,
134
right,
was systolic. And then what was the bottom number? The very first and the last?
52/71.
Huh, okay. So that seems like a little bit of a big increase. I would expect it to stay the same or go up a little bit, but from 112 to 134, that's over a 20-point increase. I would run it again
Mm-hmm.
and just see if that is a consistent pattern or if it was just that day.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Because I thought it would go down.
So anytime that we are exercising or moving, our heart rate and our blood pressure will go up. That is the normal and expected, and that's the response that we hope for, is that if you're exercising, your blood pressure goes up. So in that light, standing up is more of a challenge for the body than laying down. So it would be an expected response for it to be higher if
Okay.
you're standing and walking and stuff.
Okay.
But yeah, I'd be interested to see if that's a pattern. So yeah, I'm glad that you did that test. Go ahead and run it again for me and bring the numbers or email them to me either way.
Okay.
Sound
All
good?
right. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Amber.
You're welcome. See you
All
guys
right.
today.
See you Thursday.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Amber,
Bye.
Yeah.
I have a personal question I need to ask you. It won't take you but a minute.
Okay. Let me